All right, so here we are. It's another day of training. Another day above ground is always a good day. Today is shoulder day, so we're going to run through that. Just a few things on that. Shoulders, should they have their own day? In my opinion, in most cases, yes. It's part of the building up your upper body to create that V taper, which most judges are going to want to see a strong V taper. There are instances where you may tack on some 2 chest exercises at the end of your shoulder day. Go ahead and do all of your normal shoulder exercises just to maybe get a little more frequency on chest if you feel like you need that. Push-pull legs, obviously, you're gonna most likely gonna have a day that's shoulders and chest. You'll have another that's gonna be chest and triceps or whatever. So obviously you're not gonna have a solo shoulder day there. I'm not a big fan of push-pull legs myself. I've tried it a couple of times, got a few weeks into it and switched to something else, just typically a bro split. I kind of modify it a little bit to fit whatever kind of lagging body parts or frequency I might need. So basically, another thing about shoulders is when you're choosing your exercises, don't go too heavy on the presses. Sure, it's a good, maybe you do military press where you're standing up and you're pushing the weight over your head. It's always a good fundamental. Maybe you're doing, a seated barbell Smith machine type shoulder press. Those are good fundamental exercises to build up strength when you're starting out. Sure, you can keep doing those. A good machine shoulder press is going to be a good option always. Most of them put you in a pretty good position. The hammer strength one's pretty good. I like the Arsenal strength, which I'll be using today. Some of them have more of and they're designed to be like this, to be slanted more backwards, where you're pushing the weight kind of diagonally behind your back. So that's going to catch a lot of front delt, which I don't typically want in a shoulder press because I'm already doing exercises that target the front delt. So that's one of the things. I'm doing a little more of the front delt stuff. Compton's got me doing to try to bring that up. I felt like it was pretty developed at some point, so I didn't do it quite as much. But you want to make sure you're hitting all 3 heads of the shoulder, the front delt, the side delt, and the rear delt. Of course, you're going to want to do the shoulder flies, whether it's dumbbell or some kind of, they make the good machines where you can hit the side delts really well, or the cables are really effective because you're getting that constant tension. So I'm doing 5 sets of cable flies. I've mixed it up before with the machine, or maybe I'll throw in some dumbbells, but typically I'm doing 5 or 6 sets of those. So that brings me to kind of the way Compton's got me training. I have to give him credit on this. I didn't come up with this, and that's not to say he does that for everyone. It's going to be specific to your needs and your body type, and what body parts you need to bring up and so on. This is what he has me doing. He's typically higher volume. He believes in lifting heavy weight to put on size. So what we do is he has me doing warm-up exercises, kind of pyramiding up to working sets. So I used to typically do maybe 2 or 3 warm-ups, hit a top set, 1 pyramid, go to failure on that, and then that was it. Maybe even 1 or 2 reps in reserve. I got to a point where I was doing maybe 1, 2 exercises to failure, which is not great, but I thought, maybe that was better for recovery at my age, and, I could really feel a good pump from that, and felt like I was tearing down the muscle. But Compton says, he wants me doing all the working sets to failure, which is fine. I seem to be recovering from it just fine. I'm doing a 6-day split. So basically, like on the shoulder press, the Arsenal shoulder press today, for example, I'll probably start out with a plate on each side and do 10 or 12 reps of that. So you're kind of getting some hypertrophy. Then I'll add, a quarter to each side and do that for 10 or 12 reps. And those are going to be, the warm-up sets. And then maybe you do 2 plates for a working set. Go to failure on that. It's typically going to be higher reps to get to that kind of failure. And then throw a quarter on that. So 2 plates and a quarter. Go to failure on that. And then 3 plates is what I did last time, which I ended up hitting around 6. So that's what he wants the top sets to be, 6 to 8 reps. So that's going to be pretty heavyweight. You just have to acclimate yourself to what that will be. It's a progressive overload type program. You're adding weight each time if possible, even if it's small increments. There are other ways to implement progressive overload besides just adding weight, right? Maybe it's adding sets, maybe it's adding intensifiers like drop sets or rest pause sets, or even holding the eccentrics a little bit longer. Instead of doing 2 seconds, which Compton typically as a guideline wants me doing, and then more explosive in the concentric, maybe you hold it for 3 seconds, maybe you hold it for 4 seconds. That's going to make that weight feel a lot heavier, right? On leg press, leg extensions, he wants me holding at the top and squeezing for 2 seconds, for example. That's a good indicator of it's kind of an intensity technique in and of itself. But today, like I said, we're just doing shoulders and see if we can get a good pump on that. I did legs yesterday, so shoulders going to be a little bit less intense, a little bit less cost of recovery, and we'll take it from there. All right, so on to the training. First exercise, front raise with the cable here. It's pulling it between your legs. Looks rather awkward, but it does work. You don't need to do heavy weight on this. It's kind of a pump exercise. Then on to the Arsenal shoulder press. So I did 3 warm-up sets before this. This is one of 3 working sets, starting with the 2 plates here. Then you got like 16, 17 reps, something like that. Went to mechanical failure here. I do have a shoulder injury. One of my shoulder joints has been bothering me. It flares up from time to time. It's not doing so great right now, so I don't really want to try to push too far past failure, but got about a half rep there, so I just stopped. So that's couldn't push for another one. So then I threw a 25 on each side, pyramiding up here. Again, mechanical failure onto the last set. 3 plates. Then you get about 6 here. I forgot to put a plate on the other side, so I'm grabbing that real quick. This is pretty heavy weight for me. Maybe at some point in the next few weeks I'll work up to 4 plates and take it from there. Again, with my shoulder being like it is, I don't want to push it too hard. But this is a good building up strength here as I go. This is a good top set for me on these. I'm on to the upright row on the Smith machine. I guess they call this a compound exercise. Basically, get a lot of front delt on this, squeezing the upper back there. But we're mostly doing it for shoulders here. You don't want to pull the bar up too high. And that's basically, I think I did 3 sets of those. Here we go with the dumbbell lateral, the rear laterals. I did 12 reps of these for 3 sets. Good pump work again. Of course, you can do reverse pec deck and cables, but Justin has this in my plan. I threw this one in. This is not actually in my plan, but I usually do this exercise when I'm at this gym. because they have this cool arsenal piece where you're basically pulling off the floor. As you can see, I'm kind of hunched over. Kind of gives more of a stretch on the trap instead of standing straight up where you're kind of just feeling it at the squeeze at the top. Give it a try sometime whenever you're doing those. And lastly, the cable laterals. Basically, pump work again here. Absolutely mandatory for the V-taper, getting that shoulder width. So basically, of course you can do these with dumbbells, and a lot of gyms have the machines now, but just this single arm cable press, you get that constant tension that keeps on the muscle there.